So here are the best settings that I've found for Dune Awakening. Let's get right into it with our gameplay settings. I do have sprint lock on lock. I haven't found any reason not to just sprint everywhere. I may turn that off eventually. It may not be good, but that's what I have it on for now. The other one is toggle. You definitely don't want to have to hold down your sprint key the entire time. Okay, so equip lock and suspensor lock, all of these four, I have them all turned off. You can read what they do, but honestly, I don't think you're going to want them on. I did turn down the sensitivity down to 0.4. This is a very personal preference sort of thing. It just depends. My DPI for reference is 800 on my mouse. I have camera shakes turned off, controller rumble turned off, though I'm not using a controller. I'm not showing my helmet. And I think that's pretty much everything here that matters. There's some radial wheel settings if you want to mess with those. Display settings, gamma, I didn't change that. I thought it was fine, but for field of view, I did turn that up from 90 to 100 just because the field of view is a little bit small. And honestly, I don't think aiming is sort of an issue in this game, so you don't need to be like zoomed in to get see bigger head or whatever. Motion blur, definitely turned off. This just shouldn't even be a setting. It should just be off by default in like all games now, in my opinion at least. For VSync, I have that turned off. Language on English. Frame rate cap, you could have it unlimited. I have it at 120. You can also adjust this in the NVIDIA control panel if you have a NVIDIA's graphics card. Personally, I've ever since New World and people's, I think it was like 3080s getting fried by New World, I don't, I always make sure to cap the frame rate. It just scares me of, it'd be super bad to have your GPU be fried. So that's why I put a cap on it. And I don't think I'll be reaching 120 anyways on this computer. I'm on my laptop because I'm traveling right now. So if I was on my desktop, I'd probably set a max frame rate of like 240 on in the NVIDIA control panel. I do wish that they were higher, like at least 160, but it is what it is. And for my laptop, it doesn't matter. So for the dynamic HUD, I have that off. Same with ultra wide support. The HUD might be nice if you're just trying to like really get into the ambiance of the game and you don't need to know what's happening, but it may be important to have that on, especially when you're learning the game. Moving through the rest of these, I don't have ultra wide. Hardware cursor I do have on yes. It says it improves the mouse cursor response and smoothness during lag, so I think that sounds good. I don't actually know what's going on there, but and then I definitely want my hotbar on as well. And we hide the radial wheel. Both those are off. Show chat bubbles on. Show voice chat indicator on. Show friendly indicators. Honestly, I actually might want that on. That seems nice. And then show text chat on HUD on as well. Alright, graphics, this is what I think most people care about. So obviously we're going to be on custom for quality preset. I set the scaling quality to medium. I did seem to gain about 10 FPS, so I don't know if it's really worth it, but it's sort of up to you. The upscaling method for me will be DLSS because I have an NVIDIA graphics card, and then the frame generation is FSR. Then moving on from there, the override upscaling preset, I have that on just because it's overriding. So basically it says if enable to adjust the upscaling preset and resolution scale manually. If disabled, the system uses the recommended value based on the upscaling quality method and current resolution to preserve uniform performance. It has high impact on GPU performance. So I have the resolution scale at 100. This determines the base resolution at which the game is rendered before upscaling. This should not be at 100. This was like at 70. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but it got messed up somewhere in the settings. So moving on from there, I have the DLSS upscaling quality set to, I think it was actually at balance. I don't know what happened. I feel like my settings changed. So anyways, that was at balance. Moving on from here, NVIDIA Reflex is disabled. Shadows are on medium. Honestly, shadows can be nice. I think medium looks basically as good as high and ultra, and you will gain a little bit of performance from that as well. We have virtual shadow maps off. This enhances shadow quality. As you can see on the right picture, it definitely looks way better. However, I'm sure it uses a lot more on your GPU. So then we have GI quality of the global illumination. I have that set to low. Honestly, it's nice, but they all look the same if you look to the right. Enable lumen is grayed out. And then reflections quality, I have it on medium. You could almost even turn to low. It probably doesn't matter that much. Then low end laptop mode, your experimental. If my laptop starts overheating, I might try that out, but this is not a very low end machine, so it's okay. Yeah, it's a couple of things. View distance on high, it says it's low impact. I didn't really see any difference when I was messing around with it, so I don't really see any reason to change it either way. Then post processing, I have that on medium. Effects quality is also on medium. Texture quality is on high. I'm not sure if it makes a really big difference. It says a high impact on VRAM, but my FPS hasn't actually been changing at all. And then I have full quality all the way down at low. Again, I don't think this makes the game look that much better. You're in a freaking desert, so maybe if we were in the jungle, like in Gray Zone Warfare, I would care more. But I don't think this actually matters that much. Okay, so continuing on to our audio settings, I didn't really change too much in here. We have subtitles on, show previous subtitle off, font size default. I honestly think it's fine. Make sure your mode is set to whatever you're using. I'm currently using headphones, but they have TV, soundbar, night mode, etc., etc. Then all these are at 100%. Eventually you may get tired of the music, you could turn it down, etc. I would definitely enable voice chat. Well, I mean, I guess it could be annoying, but I haven't run into any annoying people yet. Push to talk. And then make sure you set your microphone to the thing you want. This was not set correctly when I first started into the game. And then obviously the audio output device should be fine. Moving on from audio, controls didn't really change anything here. It does show you what all the controls are, so this can be super useful if you're new to the game and you just need to know what a lot of stuff is. It is a little bit overwhelming because it just shows how so many different controls, and like following these lines up is actually a little bit annoying. But this can be super useful, so just keep in mind that this is here. Personally, I like going through the keybinds more. I think it's easier to figure out what stuff is. The only keybinds that I changed, I think most of them are pretty solid, but I changed sprint to caps lock. That's what I do generally in games. A lot of people don't like it, but I find it easier to reach than the left shift. Crouch, I might change to C. The only issue is one of your abilities is on C right now, but you can change that to a mouse button. I'm going to keep it on control right now, but eventually I'll probably change that over. Interactions are fine. Ping, so the only issue with this is my middle mouse button is generally my like push to talk for Discord. So I might change this onto like another mouse button as well. I'm just not sure yet, but that's fine. And then going through here, I didn't really change anything else. Keep in mind that there are different settings menus up here. It's not exactly clear, but here's the combat. Again, I might change some of the abilities. Like I might change ability 2 and 3 to my mouse buttons. Though in other games, you can have them on like Q and E as well. But yeah, and then activate spice prescience and recharge shields on H is fine. Now we have vehicles. Honestly, I think the vehicle controls are pretty solid. And then menus, I didn't change anything in here at all. I think they're fine for now, at least. Eventually, I honestly, for map, I'm not a big fan of M for map. Generally, I'll do tilde key instead because it's not really being used at all, and it's a lot easier to use than M. But other than that, I think everything is pretty solid. I might change the tab over to like the inventory, but yeah, I mean, I think most of these are decent at least. Then I didn't change anything in accessibility. Just make sure your motion blur is turned off because that is like the most annoying setting ever. So anyways, that is pretty much everything for the best settings for Dune Awakening. I've been having a ton of fun in the game so far. I think that the ambiance is just really, really solid. And, the crafting is fun. I think the combat is good too. So yeah, I'm having a ton of fun. Make sure you're playing with friends. I think this game, it'll make or break your experience if you're playing with other people or not. If you're solo, you can definitely pull it off and still have fun, but you will have more fun if you can, just join the Discord server, see if there's someone or like a group of people you can group up with. It'll make everything a lot easier. And yeah, so just keep that in mind. But other than that, I hope y'all found this video helpful and it gives you a bunch of frames. I'll probably have an updated settings guide after I play for like 100 hours or whatever. But until then, I hope you find this helpful. I'll have more guides coming out later this week. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.